that I was going to read
Yeah.
3 things from the new issue of cc&d magazine,
Uh-huh.
which is titled Mask, which was out yesterday. It was released yesterday.
Excellent.
And actually, it's named, I always name them after a poem within it. It's named by a poem in here by Robin. Robin's got a poem there, a mask in here. And I'm like, that works for a thing. And I had a big statue of a mask. I'm like,
Nice,
that's
nice.
going to be the cover. Yes. And that's the other, another shot of it. Anyway, never. But the cool thing when I was writing a poem every day of the year is I was writing for different events. And so I said, well, when I'm designing for issues, I'm going to pick things related to February or the end of January and put them in, and I've been doing that all this year. I'm like, I'll relate these all to holidays. So I have 3 relevant things in this magazine that I'd like to share with you. I think most of you may have heard this first one, but I'm going to do it anyway. Martin Luther King Jr. Day passed recently, and I wrote this on Martin Luther King Jr. Day last year. And it's called Our Color, Our Gender, Our Creed. There is a house inside of me. It's a house with a rich heritage, brimming with the knowledge of how our souls have flourished and how it could all be so quickly taken away. There is a house inside of me that has had to shut down to hide everything away because those who didn't look like me decided that I was nothing and treated me accordingly. There is a house inside of me. Its pulse has an infectious rhythm that we've had to stifle to hide from your generic white bread world. We only let it out when we're alone to save us from your madness. There is a house inside of me. I've hidden it away. I've sealed it up and placed it deep within, brimming with my history and my future. And I don't let it out when people can't think of me as human. There is a house inside of me. I've put boards over the windows to save myself from your storm. With your wrath, I've learned to not fight back, only because my captor won't listen. There is a house inside of me, and this house will stand strong even after you have raped me, beaten me, tortured me, tried to kill me, treated me as nothing. But you were so wrong. There's a house inside of me, and what I want you, and what you don't realize, is that this house will outlast yours. Trust me. If your house was built on distrust, on such blatant disrespect, then your house is bound to collapse. Because after all this time, and after my wanting to fight, I've learned that passive resistance is only a part of my story. Because in these struggles, I have gained a wisdom and a connection that is beyond this house inside of me, beyond this caring, this inquisitive mentality. So I want you to remember, this house is a symbol for those like me, and for those not like me, too. Because I have a dream that everyone who has suffered like this, and even those who have not, should share their stories with all of the world, no matter our color, our gender, our creed. This is my dream, because this is how we truly grow. Poem a day, I'm like, well. And I think I wrote this on Valentine's Day, and it was written for Valentine's Day. And it's coming up, so here you go. It's called Valentine's Day Every Day. You once traded my snow-soaked socks and see-through sandals for your dry pair as we climbed onto the Alps. I knew that there was snow, but I wanted to do this for you. After we approached a 30-foot wide water pit, I said I had to stop. I couldn't do it. But during a return, construction crews came and tore up our path. And that is when you picked me up and started to carry me over where my sandals couldn't navigate. Because, yes, I want to do things for you, but I think it's abundantly clear that you want to do things for me, too. So, what I needed, I don't need a Hallmark holiday for all this in the first place. So what do I need is conversation hearts or flowers or chocolates. In fact, after knowing you for less than 3 weeks, one Valentine's Day, you bought me a map because you knew I had traveled around the United States. And your coworker laughed at you, thought that you were a fool. But you even remembered that when you gave me that map, I asked you if it was okay if I kept it wrapped up in a tube until I could frame it into our office. You remembered that I said those words to you after knowing you for less than 3 weeks. So I said, what do I need an economic gift-giving holiday for anyway? You show me you love me every day. And ever since the beginning, I have loved you every day. Not just Valentine's Day. Every day. So I'm going to change it up and make it totally ungooey for the last one. Sorry, these are just in order. These are in order of dates. This one is called "We Didn't Start the Fire," and it was written on the anniversary of the Reichstag fire, February 27th. So you're already getting them like, oh yeah,
Tom was there.
No, he wasn't. No.
No, bad naughty.
He had nothing to do with it.
I wasn't there. I swear I wasn't. It was 1933. Anyway, it's called "We Didn't Start the Fire." Precisely 4 weeks after Adolf Hitler was sworn in as Chancellor of Germany, Germany's parliament building, the Reichstag, was set on fire. And Adolf Hitler, what a fortunate happenstance this was when they could pass the Reichstag fire decree to state that all communists, since one started that fire, were against Germany, which cemented Nazi Germany and him becoming the Fuhrer. Fortunate happenstance for Adolf Hitler indeed, or was it a well-orchestrated plot by the German government, making the Reichstag fire synonymous with a red flag, a ruse to fool a country to condemn a false enemy so that they can end up supporting their actual true enemy instead? This is how a master of deceit Adolf orchestrated his way into power. Documents uncovered after the end of World War II, plus information revealed during the Nuremberg trials, shows Hermann Goering may have started the Reichstag fire. Needing a patsy was easy when they found an unstable Dutch communist, Marinus van der Lubbe, and man, did Hitler just think that I hate those communists. I mean, the story seemed to be just writing itself. You're probably expecting a tirade on concentration camps, or the twisted experiments of Dr. Mengele, or the twisted sadistic acts of the chicken farmer who was to become the one that the one that couldn't even be admitted into the army. But, dear reader, Himmler and the SS weren't even around in '33 when the Reichstag burned to the ground. This was when just the seeds were planted in the German government. The seeds no one wanted to defeat in World War I. However, these were the seeds planted and growing deep within the minds of Hitler. Seeds no one fully understood, even when he wrote his rambling diatribes in Mein Kampf while serving prison time for ducking and covering instead of heroically fighting after the beer hall putsch. Now, don't you think that they didn't aggrandize these failed battles to appease the megalomaniacal, quote-unquote, savior that the women now flocked to and adore, which was why the leader could never marry a woman. He was only married to the fatherland, which may explain his love affair with his niece, but after she killed herself 2 years before the Reichstag fire, Hitler only settled for meek women, well hidden. On the surface, the rise of Nazi Germany only existed because a series of curious and fortunate happenstances. But if you look deep into each of these inexplicable events, you'll see a different story unfold altogether, of careful planning and careful propaganda. Because even Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister, said that his best propaganda was Adolf Hitler himself. And he created this short-term myth. Hello. Now we need something, a different kind of magic to keep it up for time.